Welcome to Table Talk, where we're going to dive into calories. Yo, welcome to the Elite Table Talk, where we unpack health professionals, business owners, entrepreneurs, and just everyday people, and looking at their lifestyle, their mindset, their routines, and we see what they have done to help them move forward and really just get more time back in the day. You know, most people say there's 24 hours in the day, but there's really 16 because we sleep for 8. But how do we get the most out of those 16? So grab a pen, get some paper, let's make some notes. Let's see what we can get from this episode today. Let's go. Different backdrop today. We're doing some relocation. I've just finished a course myself. And when I do a course or an event, I get creative and want to make some moves. So from under the dungeon into the public space or the living room. And whilst we're rejigging a few things, washings out, we will not stop putting out the content though. So let's dive into today's topic, which is calories in versus calories out. Karl, done these before. Everyone says it's calories in, it's calories out. It's pretty straightforward, right? So now that you know, go track your calories, cross your I's, dot your T's, go stand on some scales and, whatever is 33 times your body weight, then times that. So if you weigh 100 kilos, you can eat 3,000 calories, 3,300. For active person, if you're not so active, 28. And that'll be a baseline. And then off you go. Calculate protein and done. Okay, moving on to the next episode. Wouldn't that be great? But Karl, I've done that. Doesn't work. So this episode is to talk about fat. So for those that are interested, today's episode is going to just really address just the umbrella effect of what calories in versus calories out mean. We're going to give you a blueprint guide to success, and it's the system that I use to help clients get results or drop weight, but also give yourself some resources and tools to help. Then the next episode after this is going to talk about if it's not working for you, let's make sense of it, and we break it into the 8 areas. So let's dive in. So calories in versus calories out. We've heard it before. You can go onto Google or onto Bing, to whatever, and look macro calculator or calorie calculator. Thing that I like to do is make it easy. If you're not super active, if you're staying at home, really cool thing that I learned from a gentleman called Reese Adams at an event one time is he actually just went, not super active, 25 times your body weight, 28 reasonably times your body weight, 30, someone who's training 3 times a week, and someone who's quite active, 33 times your body weight. So for me, I weigh 110 kilos. So for me, I do 30, and that would be 3,300 calories for me for the day. Now, that is what I would be training. And then what I would do, I just work out one number. And then, so for me, 3,300. And then what I'll do is I'll minus 20% because that is my non-daily activity calories I would burn. What does that mean, Karl? We'll get to that in a moment. So you've got your 2 numbers. And let's make this really easy for this example. Let's say it's 3,000. 10% of that is 300. So we go 2,000, so 20% minus, so 2,400. Now I've got my 2 calories. The thing is, you have the zigzag method. You've got the 4-1 method. Zigzags where you alternate, like zigzagging, regardless of what you do. You got the 3-2 method where you do 3 days high calories, 2 days low calories. If you're wanting to put on a bit of size, because there is going to be some fat spillover, you could do a 4-1. That's based off fat loading. So you do 4 days moderate fats, 1 day high fat, and you just adjust it for calories. So when you calculate calories, start with protein. Most people will say 1.5 grams to 2 grams per kilo of body weight. 2's easier because you go your body weight times 2. So if I'm 100, now I eat 200 grams of protein. How many meals? Divided by how many you really want. So if I like to eat, for me, I was doing 4 meals, but I found it a bit of a challenge time-wise. So I've now just made it 3. And I just do a big walk at the end of the day. So I get about 3.5 to 6,000 steps at the end of it, which helps digestion, makes me not feel as bloated, so it's easier to go to sleep. So that's my choice. I used to do 4 meals, so now I do 3 meals and a light snack, which is just some fruit salad, because I like fruit. But it's calculated. Correct. So you calculate your protein. There are people that are kind of talking about, meat is superior than plant. At the end of the day, find the proteins that work for you. What is the most superior protein? The one that works. So if you're eating tofu and that works for you, go for tofu. The thing to note is that after, say, 2 to 4 weeks, if you're not seeing any change, maybe you need to tweak it. Maybe it's more protein, maybe it's less. Then fats I like 1 gram per kilo of body weight. Guys can go as little low as 0.5. For ladies, 0.8. Prefer, but I always look at 1 because then it gives me a buffer to play with. So if you're someone who likes to eat more fat, cool, you can go higher. Like, there's no rule. There's no like, he's wrong. There's the only way. You must eat 2 grams per body weight. That's the only way to do it. Ah. No, it's like, this is just the simple thing. I like numbers. They like me. I make it easy. 2 grams of protein, 1 gram fat. Because again, what do you weigh? If I weigh 100 grams of fat. How do you work that out? Well, I look to like use oils. So like 10 mils of olive oil is 10 mils of fat, like 10 grams of fat. Oils are really easy. Get a tablespoon, pour it, boom, there you go, problem solved. Put it away. The challenge with nuts is they're super moreish. Find me the person that only eats 1, then we'll talk, but usually a lot of the time people will eat more than 1 and then the bag is gone. Now, I've known of a few people that had some genetic conditions where they actually need to consume a hell of a lot of fat, and like they were eating 300-400 grams of fat, like out of macadamia, olive oil, and they did that to get lean. Not everyone is that. This is why you start with the baseline so you can work out what's going to work for you. So we start with the proteins and fats. So if I am 200 grams of protein, the average protein is 1 gram macro weight. This is where it gets confusing, right? So protein. I like to say a rule of thumb for meat, 50 grams of meat is equal to 10 macrograms of protein. This is where it's like, what? You said 200, but now 50 is 10? Yep. This is where it gets real confusing real fast. So I just like, for me, if it's a meat-based protein, rather than like 160, 145, and 150, it's just like, it's 50 grams. Because then it's easy. If you go to a restaurant and there's a steak that is 500 grams, you go, cool, that's 100 grams protein. But Karl, it has 100 grams, which is bone. Then that's 400 grams, which is 80 grams of protein. But Karl, you said if you divide it, 200 grams divided by 4 means 50 grams. It's not like an exact science. Your body's not going to be like, only consume 50 grams and anything more is inferior. No, like there's a bit of a bell curve, like it tapers off. But the thing is, if you were to rule this out over a period of time, you're going to be okay. So just a rule of thumb, I like to go 50 grams because then it's easy. You look at a menu when you go out, you go, shit, I didn't remember my scales. Should have brought my scales to weigh it exactly. No, just you don't want to be that person, cool. So you just look at it, how much is the weigh? Usually it'll say 180 grams. You go like, cool, that's off almost 40 grams of protein. Cool. From there, so 50 grams equals 10 macrograms of protein. So that's what we're looking for. So the macros. So calories. So 1 gram of protein macro weight is 4 calories. So if we're having 200 grams, then I'm having 800 calories from protein. Now, if I'm having 1 gram of fat, macro weight is 9 calories. So therefore, if I have 100 grams of fat, that's 900 calories. This is where it makes it really easy math. Sorry, really easy math. 800 plus 900 is 1,700 minus the 3,000 calories that I'm meant to have means I get 1,300 grams of carbs. You guessed it. Ding, ding, ding. 1 gram of carb is 4 calories too. So if I get 1,300, woo-wee, I get 400 grams macro serve of carbohydrates. And now this is where you've got people who sit on the fence. Well, if it fits your macros, you can eat whatever you want. Again, we'll get into that later. The thing to start is that would be your baseline. So 400 and a bit of carbs. And then what about the training day, non-training days? That's 1,700 minus 2,400, 2,100. So I'm having about just shy of 200 grams of carbs from my non-training days. Now, how has it worked out? Well, usually when calculating this, like you don't even need to calculate. You just need to understand that your body needs 3,000 calories to function, 2,400 on the days it doesn't work out. Because about 20, give or take 20%, some people say 10, 15, 20, give or take. So I just like 20% because it's easy to work out. 20% is your training day calories. So based off your body weight, your height, your age, gender, you can factor in all these things. Or this is why I just do 30 times my body weight. Because naturally, some females are lighter, some males are lighter. So it doesn't matter about your gender or your height, just based off your weight, which is really easy to calculate. Hop on the scales. You don't have to be like, you don't have to go back home. You'd be like, Dad, measure me, please. And they're like, oh, son, you've grown taller. Said my father never, because I'm still 176 centimeters. But hey, is to its own. That is maybe one thing that you could do to get your height, or you get your partner to weigh you, to measure you, or a tape measure, or go to your local gym. They usually have it. This is why you don't have to do any of that. You just hop on the scales, calculate it, because it's based off your own body weight. Because if you get lighter, less calories. If you're looking to bulk, you get more calories. Happy days. So we calculate this. We've got our numbers, and all we want to know is it going to work for me? Well, if 20% is your standard training, majority comes from your daily energy, net activity, net energy activity thermometers. It's just the daily things that you do, moving, picking up paper, working, using your brain. There are days where you're going to use your brain a lot more. There are days where you're using a lot less. Like, I use my brain all the time, Karl. Not when you're asleep, because it's doing other things. You got hormones that are pumping through. So to break it down to the minutia level, it just gets tricky. And this is why it's good to get your bloods done, because you can see if there's any electrolytes, minerals, hormones, anything that's off. You can look at the blood work, and you can get specific supplementation for that. Really easy, because you're not then, like, honestly, pissing in the wind. Like, I remember like 2 years ago, like Kate and I were working on, like, really exciting. So side story is that Kate is pregnant. Yay, gonna be a dad. But like for Kate, like 2 years ago, we started working with someone, almost 3 years ago, actually, 3 years ago. And, doctor, they had medical, like they had all the medical information. And so told them, I want to improve cognitive function, help with weight loss, manage hormonal levels, because we want to do X, Y, Z. And it didn't go super deep into the blood referral that I thought he would. But hey, trust the medical guy. It's fine. He's like, you're going to need these 26 supplements. I was like, that's a lot. I'm a 1 or 2 thing at a time guy. But hey, sure, 26 ups, 2.5 grand later, stung. And that was not including the consultation fee. And, we paid the guy for, I think, 24 weeks. So we'd work with him a period of time. And next day, also the next week when we got all the ups, he's like, cool, take all these, blah, blah, blah. And then 3 o'clock in the morning, Kate's puking her guts out. Blah, blah. Holy crap. Nearly had to go to the hospital. She settled, unfortunately. She lost 2 kilos, puking her guts up. You're welcome. Not really. The idea of the way to do it, though, for him, we're like, dude, what happened? He's like, yeah, it would appear like there was a reaction. No, like, really? Are you? No, duh. And he's like, yeah, so stop taking all those ups and we'll start taking one at a time. Yeah, I know. I remember looking at most of those sups going, I feel like I should take them just because I spent the money on them. So yeah, that was fun. So that's why we're here. So Blueprint to Success is one thing, breaking it down into simple forms. So then if you do this for a period of time and it doesn't work, then you look at the deeper level. You can go spend all the money and look at the minutia level. Yes, that's why I get bloods done in minerals and nutrients, because then it's like, if you're deficient in magnesium, guess what? Magnesium. If you're deficient in chromium, guess what? Ding, chromium. So you're then not, and like I recommend most people should take magnesium, because most people want to work hard and do their thing. But the thing is, like, there are other nutrients out there that are very specific. And so like ferritin, I think ferritin is the iron in your blood, but iron is like the iron in the cell. But the thing is, iron in the blood takes time to get into the cell or into the body. So it's like, you can be low on one, but be fine, because maybe you just didn't eat red meat for the last few days. But then one of the others is like, it's taken 120 days for that to really happen, to mess up. So it's like, ooh. So then the approach about it, like, look, you could do a calorie deficit, we could drop body fat, but you're probably going to notice a drop in your energy. So, and that can happen from your iron. So we need to supplement that and do that for a period of time. And then you'd be like, okay, well, maybe not restricting calories is the right thing to do right now, but you build your body up. And because you have more energy, you might naturally move more, which naturally increases your NEAT. And because now you're moving more and maybe going into winter, the weather activity thermogenesis increases as well. So that might lead to you burning more calories without having to drop your caloric intake. So yeah, things to understand when it comes to calories in versus calories out. There's merit in all of it. My approach is keep it simple, silly, kiss. So understand, and you can spend lots of money, though I recommend if you're not noticing anything within a 4 to 8 week period of just doing this as a baseline, then get your bloods done. Now, if that's your baseline and you do all that and you don't drop weight, that's meant to happen. You're meant to stay exactly where you are. Great, tick, you are where you need to be. Now, you can either drop your calories or increase. Think of it this way, most people decrease, then they run into roadblocks early on. What you should do is increase it by 10%. But Karl, that doesn't make sense. It totally makes sense. Let me explain. Number one, if you increase your calories, so you've been eating your calories, you're naturally increasing the energy and frequency of your body because your frequencies, energy. If you have more energy, you naturally move more, do more, and you use your brain more. So you'll naturally burn more calories. So if you give yourself more calories because you've been dieting for so long or calorie restricting up and down, your body might actually just be sick and tired of being in a calorie deficit. But the thing is, you don't notice it because you're still doing everything like you do because you're an amazing human being that you are. But your posture does this. So now it naturally reduces its energy output per day. So you have more calories, you start to move a little bit more, you naturally burn more energy. So you need more calories. And so the other person is, I did this for Kathy O and Amelia. Oh, I'll tell you what, I used to hate making their plans. You know why? Because I am that unfortunate son of a gun who, if he doesn't have everything aligned, I don't lose weight. So Karl is doing this. So, I said you should increase calories. So I did that. But the thing is, in the next episode, we're going to cover all these points. But he did all those things, wasn't like dialed in, but I was like, oh, it's fine. It's all about calories. And so what happened was I didn't lose weight. So I had to reduce my calories. And then I taught Catherine and Emil other things to do. So get your sleep, do all that next episode. And they did all that. And so they were going from 2,000 calories. I think they were struggling with like 1,800. So they went 2,000, 220, 24. So I think cut Kathy up to like 3,500 calories. And there's me doing 1,500 calories. Kathy training like 5 times a week, doing about 10,000 steps. I don't think she's doing step up probably twice, though she wasn't meant to. She did it anyway. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Kathy. Follow the plan. But yeah, she was sleeping more energy because she averaged like 4 or 5 hours of sleep, and we got up to like 7 to 8, and she was dropping body fat. And then there's me, who's on 1,500, doing 2 hours of cardio a day, which is just doing 30,000 steps, training 6 times a week. And so my body was like, oh. So everyone's different, but this is why I push calories up. So we got Kathy up from 1,800 to 3,400, still dropping weight. Like super happy coach, but like individual, personal. I want more calories. I can feel it now. Kathy saying it back to me. Well, Karl, if we stick to the fundamentals of success and getting the 7 and next episode, we'll address that. So the thing is, if you push your calories up, right, which we did for Kathy and Amelia, they have more energy, and there will come a point where you just can't handle that. You just can't handle it. Cool. So then what happens is we get to that point. Cool. We've got more energy. Brain's working more. The thing is, from 3,400 to like 0, there's a huge difference. Like we removed 1,000 calories. She would have dropped like a kilo of fat every 9 days. Like 1 kilo is 9,000 calories. However, you wouldn't do that because then your body would adapt. So then what you do is you gradually bring it down, and every 2 weeks we do a refeed because we want to keep the metabolism up here. So then we gradually create that deficit. So you just started dropping more body fat. Where for me, it's like just I had to do more. So that was fun. So for me then, but the thing is, I would still do refeeds because I would need to want to bring keep my metabolism up here. So keeping around that 3,000. So yes, I was having a 1,500 calorie deficit, but the thing was my body was adapting to that. So we had to go that a little bit deeper or do that a little bit more. And the reason for that is when you come out of a diet, and this is where a lot of people mess it up. And I know I did dieting because I put on like 30, 40 kilos pretty quickly because rather than refeeding, sustaining refeeds, it was like, don't need refeeds, just push harder. And the thing is the body will require you to repay it. And so I ended up rebounding pretty aggressively. And so for Kathy, build that out. And the thing was, when she stopped dieting, just brought the calories back up. And so she'll sit anywhere between now around 2,500 to 3,000 calories because she's now training a little bit less because work's important to her and she wants to prioritize that. So just know, let's summarize it all into key points. Number one, pick a number: 25, 28, 30, 33. If you're not very active, start at 25. If you're active reasonably 4 times a week in training, or do 30. If you're a bit more, go 33. Times that by your body weight. Those are your calories for your daily intake for when you train. Then minus 20%, that's the calories that you don't train. Why is that important? Because what happens if you can't train one day? It's okay. You've already worked out those calories. 2 times your body weight for protein. If you get bloated, distended, you can reduce it to 1.5, totally fine. Still have aminos to build muscle. Protein equals 4 calories, and fats 1 times your body weight. You can drop it if you need to a little bit more, but start at 1. It's an easy number to work out. Whatever you weigh, that's your number. Then the rest is carbs, and then off you go. Some people prefer more fat. Great. Reduce your carbs, increase your fat. Vice versa, same thing. And just so we're clear, most foods have a little bit of fat, a little bit of carbs, a little bit of protein. It's fine. So like if you were to eat 10% lean meat, that say has 10 grams of protein, 1 gram of fat, or if you go 50 grams of protein, there's 5 grams of fat in there. You do need to factor that into those macros. Now, find your baseline, eat like that for 2 to 4 weeks. If nothing changes, guess what? You're where you need to be. If your weight drops, great. You're probably eating less than your body actually needs because it's a baseline or it's a theoretical. Your body needs more. Awesome. Go more. What if you put on weight? Cool. That's not your baseline. Bring it back down. Right. This typically also works well when you do an average of 10,000 steps a day. However, if you do 5,000, guess what? You can always increase your steps. If you do 20,000, you can always reduce your steps. So just know everybody's lifestyles are different. It's got kids, family, and factors. So starting from there's your baseline. Recommendation: speak to your local GP, get your bloods done. If you're like, I don't know what to do for my bloods, reach out to us and we'll send you a referral letter. So what we use for our clients at Vitruvian Health Studios. Till next time, adios, amigos. Calories in, calories out. And see you at the next episode where we're going to break it down into the VH8. And these are all the things to look for at a deeper level if you're finding that calories in, calories out isn't working for you, and some of the things to consider. Till next time, bye. Hey guys, thanks for tuning into that episode. Hope you really enjoyed it. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel and also to share so we can help more people. Now with your pen, you've probably written down heaps of things, but the things like myself, like there's blank pages, but pages, got lots of notes. What are the top 3 that you got out of today's episode? If 3 is too much, action on one thing and just see how it goes for you for this week. And make amendments and adjustments so you're constantly improving and refining and moving forward in your health, your training, your life. If you ever get stuck, reach out to us at info@vitruvianhealth.com.au. Always here to help. Till next time, adios, amigos.